Hi you guys, I am so excited to get the night started, so I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna introduce myself, give you a little bit about Alice's table and their story, and then we'll get right to it. So, my name is Paige. I am from Fairfield, Connecticut. I live there with my husband and my adorable Havapoo puppy. Her name is Penny. And I have actually been a teacher for 5 years, and I'm not doing that anymore. I actually own my own business called Weddings and Wellness, and I've just felt so passionate about helping brides prep for the big day in terms of just getting their body calm, cool, and ready, and them feeling amazing. And I just miss wedding planning so much and just being involved in the process. So it's the best of both worlds. And now I'm actually partnered with Alice's Table, and I love it so much because I really get to host. I love to meet new people, hopefully connect with some new brides, and I love just teaching. I mean, I'm not teaching anymore, so I just fell in love with the idea that I can still be creative and still get my hands involved in some kind of teaching process, and it's fun. You guys want it, you paid to be here, you want to be here, so I'm excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night. Has anyone been to an Alice's Table event before? Okay, no. So perfect. I want you to know, first of all, that there is no such thing as a bad arrangement. I am kind of new to this too, but that's okay. We're going to learn together. We're going to do it all together. And at the end of this event, you're going to go home with a beautiful bouquet. I promise you. There's no bad way to do it. So the first thing I want to just do is go over Alice's Table. We are a lifestyle business that hosts floral arranging, events, parties, whatever you want to call it. We can do public events like this one where people simply are interested in spending the night out with their friends, learning something new, buying the ticket, or we also do private events, so corporate. If you want to have one in your house, a lot of people love to do wreath making with their friends. I promise it's so fun, not too messy. And then there's also the wedding DIY part of it, where you can either have us for a shower, a bridal shower, even a baby shower, a bachelorette, if that's your style, or for your wedding. If you are a bride that likes to get your hands involved, we'd love to work with you and help you make your bouquet and your arrangements for your big day. So those are some of the things that we do. And yeah, so I'd love to get started. I'm going to keep walking over here just to make sure the camera is working. But we're going to get started with this. I'd like for you to just look at your table in front of you. You have the vase that you're going to be working with. You have the apron, you have your rose strippers, and you have your clippers. We're going to be using all of them tonight. They're all super important tools. So what I'd like for you to do is to take out your apron and put it on. You just unfold it. If you need to make it a little tighter around the neck, you're welcome to do so. I will be taking this home with me, so you're not allowed to take it. But you are allowed to take the flowers. So you have your apron. This here right now. And I'm going to show you how to use these. The important tool right now is to not stick your fingers anywhere in here. Big tool. Okay, and same for these. On your table, you have a watering can. There is water in there, and there is the food in there for the plants. So we're going to use just a little bit of that in a few minutes. There's also a bucket in the middle of your table that is for all the leaves and the parts that we're going to clip off. So that is in front of you and for you to use. So the bouquet we're going to make today, or the arrangement we're going to make today, is, I think, based on the arrangement that Alice's Table sent me, is based off of the Joanna Joy arrangement. Every bouquet, keep calling them bouquets, arrangements, whatever you want to say, are all based off of a Southern woman. And who knows any Southern woman named Joanna? Anyone watch HGTV? Joanna Gaines. So we're going to make a nice, beautiful, kind of like laid back, but still elegant arrangement today. And I'm so excited. It does remind me of Joanna Gaines. I wish some shiplap came with it, but we'll save that for another event. Our arrangement today is going to be water-based, so we're basically going to fill this vase halfway With water, not yet. And because there are other options where you could put foam, but we're not going to work with foam today. And we're going to work with water. So on your table, you have a roll of Oasis tape. And I know for the purpose of this video, I have Scotch tape, which we don't recommend because it's not really water resistant. But for the sake of time and these flowers staying alive and recording this video, we're going to use Scotch tape. But normally with my parties, I would have Oasis tape. You guys can go to Michael's. It's there. You can pour water on it. It's great to help you create a grid. So that's what we're going to do now. And it really helps you organize your flowers. Because I know when I go to Whole Foods and I come home with like an arrangement, I just put it in a vase. That's what I used to do. But now if I'm making one myself, I use this as a tool. And you guys, it's a game changer. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 pieces. And you are going to make the number 11, okay? So you're going to start to make a grid or like hashtag, okay? So you want the tape to go over the edge. It's okay, no one's going to see it and no one's going to notice it. This is the best kept secret that I have learned with Alice's table. I love it so much. So far you have this, and I'm actually going to make those go a little bit wider. That's why the construction tape is not that great. The Oasis tape at least is thinner. Oh, let me make sure this is working. It's thinner so that you have more space to put your flowers and your stems. And this Scotch tape isn't, but it still does help create a grid. So we're just gonna go with it. Maybe this will have an impact on our arrangement, but we're still just gonna go with it. Okay, so when you are done with that, you should have a grid like this on your face. Does anyone need any help with anything? Okay, so great, everyone's looks great. I'm looking around. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some water. We're only going to fill this halfway, and the reason is because you do not want water to spill all over your car on your way home. So there is already water in here and the plant food. So basically the plant food gives the plant the foods, and it also has preservatives. So basically it's giving the flower sugar and the water that they need to continue to survive while they are in your house. And does anyone know what temperature the water needs to be at? Not cold. No. Room temperature. So the room temperature is the best way. I mean, think about it. Our flowers are going to be sitting in our house anyway. So the best temperature is room temperature. So you're going to go through the middle of your vase, in the middle of that hashtag, and you're going to fill this halfway. I put enough water in there for everyone to share this. And when you get home, you're going to fill it up. So right now we have it halfway, which is just enough for our flowers to get some more water in here because I did not. There's still some food remnants. Just perfect. Because the reality is our water, or our flowers, soak up so much water, especially the hydrangeas that we're going to work with. So jumping into our flowers for today, we're going to start with the hydrangeas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you some facts about the hydrangea, show you how it's going to go into your vase, and then I'm going to invite you to come up and basically get your hydrangeas. I'm going to show you how you cut them, how you prepare them. So over here I have 3 hydrangeas, and here we go. I have 3 hydrangeas. Now, for the most part, hydrangeas will actually come with a lot of leaves. If you just leave, see, these ones have been sitting out for a while. You're going to pick off the leaves because this is a very thirsty plant. The green hydrangeas last longer, which is amazing. But how many of you have ever brought in hydrangeas from your garden or from outside and they immediately die? Okay, same. So they're so thirsty. The reason why, and I totally learned this with, I'm gonna take these off because these are pretty, this one's pretty good. These are such thirsty plants. And so what you're gonna do is you're going to cut at a 45-degree angle here with your hydrangea, and you are going to cut up like a little slit here, okay? This is gonna allow the hydrangea to breathe a little bit more and take in that water, and we're also going to soak or spray the hydrangeas on top, because the reality is they drink better from the head. So I'm gonna actually just put this in here in one of my side ones, and I feel that my camera is going, but we're gonna keep going. I feel that this right here is too much of a droop for me, so I'm actually gonna make it shorter. My personal preference. Again, your scraps go in your bucket. Make the cut. Okay. That's a little bit better for me. So then I'm gonna take my spray bottle and I'm gonna give it a few squirts. That way it is taking in that water. The best time of day to actually cut hydrangeas from your garden or outside is the morning, because the dew is on top of them, and that's the best time. If you take it in the middle of the day, it's already been soaking in the sun and it's already kind of thirsty. So you're gonna take the hydrangeas and do the same thing. These, I'm gonna leave these leaves because they are pretty close to the head. So I'm going to cut probably around here and here. Does anyone have any questions about how I am cutting my hydrangeas? Okay, I'm gonna leave this one out. Maybe I'll cut it a little bit. Again, 45-degree angle, cutting up. Isn't that a cool fact? I thought so too. And putting it in. So I have 3 of these. I'm just gonna space them out wherever on the outside of my hashtag. So I'm gonna invite you to come up and grab 3 hydrangeas for yourself, and you can get started. And I will be coming around to help you. Okay, perfect. So all of these, need a bit of spray on the bottom too. You guys, if you ever have a hydrangea that is droopy and you just kind of brought it in from outside, have it soak in some room temperature water, face down or the head down in a bowl. Let it sit there for a few minutes, and then it should be able to come back, which is really cool. So the next flower we're going to work with and add to our arrangement is the rose. So this is the fun part. Got 3 here. So typically I would not just take them out of the water. They need to be in the water really quick, really for most of the time. So the best thing about a rose is you're gonna always feel the base of it. So you feel the base, you want it to be firm. You don't want it to be mushy. If it's mushy, then it is not our most favorite rose, okay? So also, these outside petals are called guard petals. So you think about where these flowers actually came from, somewhere in South America, maybe somewhere in the Netherlands, wherever they came from. They came over on cargo. They then got brought to the florist. The florists don't always know what they're going to get with their flowers, but these petals are basically just saying, we've been through a lot, we're protecting our main rose. So it is okay to peel them off gently, and you have a beautiful rose on the inside. Now, these, unfortunately, have been sitting for a day or 2, so they haven't really had a chance to just be themselves and live their best life. But for the sake of this video, we're totally gonna just go with it. Now, the rose stripper, this is my favorite part, girls. So this is your rose stripper. The metal part goes at the top. You're never gonna put your fingers in between, and you are going to basically start at the top. Be careful where you're gripping, because there can be thorns, so be careful of those. You're basically, this one only has 1 stem, so, but I'm gonna demonstrate for you. You put it at the top, squeeze, and then just gently go up and down. And how cool is that? That this just came off, you didn't get pricked. It's so good. So here's the next thing about roses is that you want to put them straight into water. You don't want them to stay out of the water for so long because they're going to scab. And when they scab, I would assume that not much water is able to get in there. So I'm going to cut at a 45-degree angle and put it straight in my water. Now again, I like where that is right now. I'm gonna see what the vibes of the rest of this arrangement are going to give me, but does anyone have any questions about this or how you use your stripper? Okay, so I invite you up to come up and you're gonna get 3 roses. If there's extra, I may come around at the end and pass out some more. We're gonna stick with 3 for right now. Come on up. Okay, I actually am noticing that we do have 1 extra for every single person in here. That was my bad that I miscounted. And I like the fact that there can be 4. So I'm going to come around, I'm going to pass out a rose to each of you. You're going to do the same thing. And you can always blow into a rose to open it up and you'll see how beautiful it is. I feel like this is one of the roses that you'd see in like Beauty and the Beast or something. So I'm gonna put this one kind of coming out middle, just to switch it up. So far we have some gaps and that's totally okay. We're gonna go and fill it with our greens next. Okay, so once we're all set with that, which it looks like we are, we're gonna add some greens. And with our greens, these really add another layer of texture for our mix. There's different ways you can use them. Some people kind of cut them off and add them depending on what it is. We're totally going to use these to fluff it up and boost up our flowers a little bit more. Now sometimes some people put these in first and then you build around it. Depends on your approach. Today what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. These stems are a little bit different and a little tougher. So these we're going to put, maybe start to fill in the middle, okay? So you see already how 1 is just making it pop. You can also, you guys, just feel free to move these around as you are going through. You can move your flowers around. Again, there's no perfect way to do this. These leaves are getting in the way. So I'm just gonna move them, remove them. That way our hydrangea can still drink some water. Okay. Now this can be a very different height. It depends on the height of your flowers. You can choose to make them a little bit longer. I'm making them a little bit longer than my flowers. We're gonna see how that looks, if it meshes well. Okay, because they are sticking out. So I'm going to invite you all to grab 4 of these and add them to your arrangements. Beautiful. Now I'm noticing that the height of these, kind of liking how, now you'll see how the more you intermix all of these flowers, that you're gonna like this Oasis tape because it is giving your arrangement some structure. That's why we call it arranging, because we're So, these are actually the cousins of a sunflower. So you'll see how they kind of have the same setup, different size, a little bit of different of everything, but you see how many buds they have, and these are going to bloom. These asters are actually the birth flower for September. Does anyone have a birthday in September? Ooh, my husband does. And actually in Greek, so we're going to cut at a 45-degree angle. In Greek, the word aster means star. And so if you take a closer look, you'll see, you know, flower represents a star. I totally see it. These are going to kind of give you a reason to move things around even more so. So it's again going to depend on the height that you're going for. So I'm adding quite the variety here. I feel like my hydrangeas, no matter where I put them, are gonna kind of be either too tall or just the right height. I'm gonna cut this down so it's a little bit shorter. These can also be good to break off and to put more so in your arrangement as we move along. This is in here. It's good to keep turning your arrangement and seeing where do you want to put things. You're going to see some holes, and that's totally okay, totally normal. So I'm going to invite you guys to come up, and you're going to grab 4 of these aster flowers. They're amazing. You can feel free to cut, or even, I don't love breaking off because I feel like I'm like doing something bad to the flower, but it's okay. I suggest if you pull them apart a little bit, then you can cut on your angle, and you can stuff them in individually, maybe on the inners where you're seeing a few more gaps. So come up and get 4, and I'll be around to help you guys. You're gonna wait and see because the room is gonna get quiet at one point in the night, and I'm gonna see. Okay. One's gonna get a little quiet. Don't forget about those little buds underneath. Some of those, if you have a long one. Now you never want any flower or any leaf to hit the water line. The reason is because any kind of leaf or something that hits the water line, it's going to contaminate the water. So when you are especially adding water and changing water for this arrangement, best thing to do is to put your hand on the side, dump it a little bit in the sink because there is still those preservatives in there, and then you're going to just add new room temperature water so that they can last a little bit longer. Okay. Now, again, you continue when you get home, get a little spray bottle. They have one of these in the aisle in Stop and Shop. I promise you it's worth it. You're going to be the proudest hydrangea waterer ever. Remembering that that's part of your watering process. So keeping in mind where you're cutting these, how much water, how long your stem is. It's getting a little wild here. This totally is giving me like Texas vibes. I see why Alice was inspired by Joanna Gaines for this one. Okay. Now, a little secret for my friends who are watching this video, my dog is actually only 10 months old, and she's in the room, and she's chewing on a bone. She's doing such a great job. Okay, so everyone's is looking great. I'm gonna move, again, some things around so that they're able to be seen. Originally, my flowers were, my roses were on the bottom, but I'm moving them to the top. Different heights, which I'm actually loving. And again, it's all based on your personal preference. Okay, looks great, you guys. Okay, so one thing I'd like for you to do is to pause now that everyone's ready for the next step, and you're going to take your glass and you're going to cheers to the person to your left and to your right, and just, we should have done this at the beginning, but say your name. I think it's so fun now that we're like really into it. Water for me, but, okay, let me see what we have next. Okay, everyone's is looking great. We have 2 more ingredients, 2 more big steps. stems. One thing we're going to do is we're going to add some white lilies. These have a long vase life, you guys. They represent simplicity. They haven't even opened yet. I'm so excited for you. Does anyone have cats? Okay, so you want to be careful around cats because apparently there are toxins in the lilies that are not great for pets. So just keep them away from them, totally fine. Honestly, these are beautiful flowers, so worth it to have. That's just a little fun fact. So what we're going to do with these, because the stem is longer, so look at your arrangement right now and determine what kind of height you would want it to be, right? Like I have some height here. Have some height here. You turn it. Feel like I could put it in so it's sticking out. You want this to be your main centerpiece. It's going to bloom. It's going to be beautiful. So you can always go shorter. So my suggestion to you is to probably go about 1/4 from the bottom. And so this is the length of my stem, and I'm going to pop it in here, and it is going to flop. Maybe, but look how beautiful this is. I'm obsessed. So you are going to, I have 2 of these, so we're going to use 2 per person. And so that way this is really, these are the bottom, this is the base, and we're going to add 2 of these. So again, cutting down from maybe like 1/4 left and finding a place here. Beautiful. They kind of lean on each other. Again, that oasis tape is really helping structure where they fall. I mean, this looks pretty impressive to me. I love the different texture and the different vibes that our asters are adding, and the flowers just add such an elegant touch. So I'm going to invite you to come up and grab 2 of our white lilies. They really are such beautiful flowers. I'm going to come around and see how everyone is doing. Okay, so we are going to move on to the dragon. I have my notes somewhere. Give me 1 minute, you guys. Okay, found them. It's tough work remembering all this information about flowers, but I'm telling you, these handy dandy notes. I'm going to move this out of the way. It's probably been in the way this whole time. So these are our final thing that we're going to add to our arrangement, and these are our snapdragons. So they live in a rocky habitat, and they come in different kinds of colors. I feel like I've usually seen them in white or pink in this area in Connecticut. You'll see them at Whole Foods, and they are just about to bud on the top here, so can't wait to get them in. They're called a snapdragon because if you press the side gently, it looks like it's a dragon opening and closing its mouth. It's so cute. When you get yours, gently take a peek because it really does look like it. It's cool. Snapdragon. And so that's what I've got for you. They come in all kinds of colors. They come from rocky habitats. I usually find these at Whole Foods. They're really great. You now know that they look like a dragon. If you press the sides gently like that, it really does. And so again, I think this is going to be like a medium. These are my highs in my arrangement. These are my lows. I think these are going to add a great texture, and I'm going to cut maybe probably about halfway from the bottom here, 45-degree angle, and add that an extra layer of texture here. So I'm going to actually invite you guys, we're going to do 3s because we have 2 of the lilies, we have quite a few of the asters. I'm going to invite you to come and get 3 of these, and you get to pick and add them to your bouquet. So come up and get them. And I should have said this at the beginning. Does anyone know why I'm inviting you to come up and add or pick your own flowers from the bucket? Nobody. Okay. So the reason why is because if you were to go to a garden, you might pick a different flower than I would pick. And so that's basically me just giving you the choice and the freedom, because this is your bouquet. You're paying for it. You're going home with it. You're going to impress your family members with your talents. So you know which flowers you're gonna pick. Okay. And so that, my friends, everyone's is looking good, is our arrangement. You see a fair balance of flowers that are on the bottom. At the base, you can separate some of those asters. You have your lilies, which are leaning to one side, so you can use your Oasis tape to help you lean it in another direction. And then that is it. These are so beautiful. So who can remind me, what are you going to do when you get home? Yes, you are going to fill this up with more room temperature water. You are going to go to the store tomorrow if you don't have one and get a spray bottle. Our hydrangeas, I mean, just the same way that I need a glass of wine sometimes is the same way that they need this water. And these should really last. I went to a party that my friend was hosting and throwing a few weeks ago, and I went away for the weekend, and my husband's one job was to make sure that there was water in the vase. And so I came home and they were all still alive just because of the condition we preserved them in, and just by keeping them, giving them fresh water. You are going to see that tomorrow morning, these are all going to drink so much water. So just make sure, stick your finger in, okay? And if you don't feel any, then it's time to definitely add. Every single day, these are going to drink and drink and drink, especially our hydrangeas and a lot of our plants with the leaves because they're thirsty. So I hope you all had a great time tonight. We have, just a reminder, we have great ways to have this in your house, have this at your office, your work, wherever you are. And also, if you know any brides that love to get their hands involved in projects, if you know any brides that are very DIY focused and I don't know, just kind of want budget friendly, I would love to connect with them. I have some business cards over there that you're welcome to take. I would also love if you guys tagged me on Instagram. Such a fun way to add to your stories and also create some curiosity about that work that we do publicly, privately, and with our weddings. So I hope you all had a great night. And let me just check and see, did everyone sign in, providing their email address, and yeah, it looks like it. Oh, okay. So I'll make sure that you get this and then you sign out, or you sign before you leave. And thank you so much, you guys. This was so great. Awesome job.